Hello everyone and welcome back to another Rise of Kingdom video. My name is Legend Ronnie and today I'm going to talk about Artemisia and YSG or Artemisia and Tomyris and why I was using Artemisia and YSG in my heroic anthem and why I was using Ramses and Tomyris, because that was a very frequent question that I was being asked in the live chat when I was field battling in my KVK, my current KVK that is still running right now. Now, if you want to watch some field battles, there's plenty of long hour live streams. I'm probably going to post a couple of cards on the top so you can see the lineup and the composition of my 5 marches that I used in this KVK. So let's get into it and let me explain you, because it's very important that you understand my point of view. And I'm not saying that Artemisia and Tomyris is wrong. I'm going to talk about that as well. But just to understand the point of view of putting Artemisia first with YSG as a second in command. Right. Starting with Artemisia. She's obviously an AoE commander. AoE means area of effect. It means that it hits multiple targets. It hits up to 3 targets troops in a forward-facing fan-shaped area, damage factor 1800. Now, YSG has his 4th skill, which you all know, that increase skill damage by 50%, and he has his 2nd skill with a chance that can grant you 100 archer attack, 100% archer attack for the next 3 seconds. So that's quite a big boost, and attack also increase skill damage by a portion, not 100%, obviously. And that was the reason why I always used Artemisia with YSG. Now, the reason why all this started using Artemisia and YSG was with my alt account, because first I didn't have many options to use in his first heroic anthem. If you want to check videos about that, you can check the heroic anthem playlist and you're gonna see my alt account people please demolishing with Artemisia and YSG. When all the things line up and Artemisia gets herself silenced, right? Because for 5 seconds when she gets silenced, or this Queen of Kara skill procs in, you get 50% increased damage. Now imagine when Artemisia, that's her primary skill, and you get the Queen of Kara, you already have YSG 50% skill damage increase, and if you're lucky enough, you get a Ring of Doom proc, which is, a very low chance, but another higher chance would be to get YSG's 2nd skill, which is, I already mentioned it and showed it, is 100% attack. Now imagine when all those things line up, how much powerful nuke, or how much powerful skill damage, I like to call it nuke, Artemisia can do when it hits the 3 targets. Now we know for a fact, because it was proven, and I believe it was from the Archer Discord. There is a Discord that is dedicated fully for archers. They proven, and that's from where I think I saw it first, that Artemisia, when it hits 2 or 3 targets, her primary skill is getting reduced, same as any other AoE commanders. For example, even Guan Yu, it says for each target is reduced by 15%. Now I'm not sure if that was all the time reduced. The support says that it was all the time. You might want to ask your own questions for the support, but that's what people have tested, and they said that for each additional target her damage is reduced. But the point is, when all these things line up, Artemisia will fire a very powerful nuke to all those 3 targets, or a skill damage, or her active skill, how you want to call it, when she's gonna do Battle of Salamis. That's the main reason why I wanted all this, why I want Artemisia and YSG. And I first tried it on my alt, like I was mentioning, and I was crazily surprised. The second thing is how defensive she can be even with YSG as a second. Now, obviously, if you do like an Artemisia and Ramses, they will be even more defensive, right? Or even with an LCD if you really like, because LCD has defense and mobility and so on. It will definitely help a lot. But it's all about empowering her AoE. She also has her expertise, which personally I haven't really tested if the 50% skill damage empowers this, but if it does, then it's just extra. At least the 100% attack does empower this for sure. I'm not sure if the 50% skill from YSG's 4 skill will empower it. Probably should have tested, but I just consider this a very small amount with a 10% chance of not something very high to take in consideration. Now, going for Artemisia and Tomyris, why are players or people mentioning or why they are using it is because of the self-silence from Artemisia. And Artemisia having the defense talent tree, it also tells you that she's not a fast skill generating, or she's not fast filling her rage bar to do her primary skill, meaning that the slow skill that she does, the more stacks you can get from Tomyris, because it's all about the poisons. The 4 skill from Tomyris, that's what people want to put. That's why Edward and Tomyris is also such a great march to use. It's just that it's very swarmable and it goes down very fast. As much as I like Edward, I stopped using it for that reason. He just gets demolished, the poor fella. I feel sorry for him, to be honest, because I really like him, but what can I do if it doesn't work as he used to? So Artemisia and Tomyris is also a great pick, but Tomyris only debuffs the target that you're hitting. It does debuff it for everyone else, but Artemisia does group damage, and that's what I want to empower, right? And that's what YSG does as well, does group damage. And I want to keep YSG as safe as possible. So Artemisia and Tomyris also works really great because you can get more stacks. But my point of view is just trying to empower the AoE as much as possible. And she definitely does some crazy numbers. I've seen that on my alt account, since I was only able to use 2 marches. On my main account it's a little bit hard to see that because I'm swarming targets with 5 marches, so I can't really see when it's so many red numbers. Like, who's the one that done so much skill damage? But on my alt, I was able to experience it, and Artemisia and YSG was phenomenal. The only way I would split Artemisia and YSG and do Artemisia and Tomyris is if I max Nebuchadnezzar. Now, as crazy as it sounds, if I max Nebuchadnezzar, I would put Nebu first and Ramses second, because right now what I use is Ramses first with Tomyris second, and I'm gonna go into that as well. So if I max Nebu, it's gonna be Nebuchadnezzar and Ramses, and it's gonna be Artemisia and Tomyris, because at any cost I want Tomyris on my 5 marches murder ball. I want her on the field when I swarm a target. She is amazing for that purpose, and I really need her there. And that means that I will stop using YSG. That will be the point when YSG will be replaced. As powerful as he is with his circular AoE, I would. I know it sounds crazy, but there's no other option, because all these newish commanders that are being introduced, so hear me out, like Nebuchadnezzar, for example, he does hit up to 5 targets, even though he doesn't do it in a circular area, but he comes packed with defense, right? He comes back with packed with all damage, with rage reduction. He comes packed with additional damage on your primary target. Can be used for rallies. Nebuchadnezzar is amazing for rallies, right? So all these newish AoE commanders or group damaging commanders that are being introduced, they don't just pack damage like YSG does, they come with a little bit extra. And I've seen Nebuchadnezzar and Ramses on the field, and it's a walking tanky archer march. To tell you the truth, I was swarming Nebuchadnezzar and Ramses, and he was not going down, and I was pleasantly surprised because he wasn't going down. I'm expecting that he might have had legendary equipment, because some of the legendary equipment gives quite a lot of defense to the archers. So if you add 30% defense from Nebuchadnezzar, then with a chance you can get another 40% defense, and you add the archer equipment with so much defense, well, son, trust me, they're definitely gonna have some crazy defense reductions. Well, damage reduction, not defense reduction. Some crazy damage reductions with all that defense. Obviously it's gonna work, right? For the same reason Artemisia and Ramses is so tanky, because Artemisia also grants defense and health, and Ramses also grants skill damage reduction and defense with a chance. again, Artemisia and Ramses is also a very tanky march. So that would be the only way I would replace my YSG if I do max Nebuchadnezzar. Now going to Ramses and Tomyris. Why do I use Ramses and Tomyris as a field march? Well, the simplest way I can put it is Tomyris with her debuff is just debuffing for all your marches, but Ramses is also a single target commander. So when Artemisia is hitting, even though Tomyris is debuffing for all the marches that are hitting the target, but Artemisia hits 3 targets. So for example, on one target, in theory, she should do a lot more damage because it's being debuffed by Tomyris. But on the other 2 targets, she will do the regular damage that she would do. So having Artemisia and Tomyris, I didn't feel like it's quite alright. I'd rather have YSG so I can empower hitting 3 targets, like I was mentioning before. But Ramses is a single target damage dealer. So Tomyris is just perfect second to Ramses or second to Edward, right? Because that was also a very well-known and well-used march, Edward and Tomyris, because Edward is a high, powerful, nuking commander, which is over here. I have in max a level 60 because of his slow rage bar, and is not necessarily slow, it just require a lot of rage to fill his bar, and that way Tomyris can stack a lot of stacks. So that's why this was a very well used march. So for the same reason, because Ramses is also a single target and having the attack tree, he's also slow filling up his bar. From my noticed, the average is 10 to 11 stacks that Tomyris will be able to stack up before she fires off her primary skill. I've seen 12 and I've seen 9 as well, but the average is 10 and 11. Obviously, if there is a lot of rage or if Ramses is being swarmed, then there's not going to be a lot of stacks from Tomyris. I've noticed that as well, probably 8 and 9. And at that point, you're losing some damage from Tomyris. So it has ups and downs. But I've seen that on Edward as well. When he's getting swarmed, he just fills up his bar pretty fast. Plus, he goes down very fast on a notice. But at least Ramses that survive a little bit longer on the field. And what a lot of players do recently, once they demolish one of your march, they leave it alone. And Ramses and Tomyris is one march that I don't retreat, even if it's on red, because I keep them for debuffing. If you notice over here, it says defense decrease by 30%, and this is an active skill. If you go on to Tomyris, defense reduction with a chance for 3 seconds, and this is a passive and active skills stack. Actives and active skills don't stack, so you can get not just skill damage reduction on the target from this march, but you can get a lot of defense reduction on the target with just this march. So if this march is not being completely demolished, even though I'm probably having bad trades at that point, but I keep them there for the purpose of debuffing the target, continuing debuffing the target for my other 4 marches. So this is one mistake that my opponents, whenever I go in KVK, they do, because everyone got used with not fully demolishing targets, just getting them to maybe half health or even red, and then just switching to another target so they continue the rage bar and keep doing a lot of damage. So a lot of ups and downs and benefits from Ramses and Tomyris, in my opinion. That's pretty much what I want to talk about, and that's why I'm doing Ramses and Tomyris, because I feel that is a lot of benefits for these 2 marches. Not to mention the amount of attack they both pack together, right? Because if you look at Tomyris, she has 30% attack, and then you look at Ramses, he has 40% flat attack. So there's 70% flat attack that you have at all time to this march. So obviously when you hit infantry, you're going to do some crazy amount of damage. Then you have extra attack that you can get with a chance over here and a little bit of march speed. So really nice synergy from Ramses and Tomyris, and I did rally with them one time and it worked really great. This KVK was crazy about rallying. Like, I don't know, you supposed to be very lucky to rally because there were so many people launching rallies. So I really wanted to try them out on Zenobia, but I just didn't have the chance. We just demolished everything with swarmings and so on. But I would say that Ramses and Tomyris is a really amazing march for me, and for the purpose of what I'm using them for, debuffing and just keeping Tomyris alive, it's working perfectly. Artemisia and YSG for me is my walking AoE march. Then I have Guan and Alex, I have Saladin and William, and Genghis and Takeda. Now I do plan to replace Genghis and Takeda for the next KVK, but there's going to be another video why I want to replace it, where I'm probably going to talk about my 5 marches that I used last KVK, or maybe just those 2 marches that I want to replace, or 1 march, my apologies, that I want to replace. My next 3 commanders that I want to work on and I want to max skill that I have in mind right now is Chandragupta is 1. Then the second one is Traian. Yeah, the second one is Traian. While I'm pointing the third finger. And the third one is Nebuchadnezzar or Nebu. These are the 3 commanders that I got my eyes on to max skill in the future. And why is going to be follow-up videos, because I want to replace Genghis and Takeda from my field battle march, but I want to bring a cav march as well in the same time. So that's why I got my eyes on Chandragupta. Now that's pretty much about this video. I hope you enjoy, and let me know in the comment section below what do you think about this. I managed to get 75 million kills this KVK using those setups. I'm at 210 million T5 kills, and the total kills of this KVK is 75 million. The KVK is not over, but our opponents kind of gave up, so I don't think there's going to be a whole lot of more fighting or a whole lot of fighting anymore, to tell you the truth. And that was the 5 marches that I used. They brought me a lot of benefits, a lot of kills, and so on. I did max tech as well, which obviously helped out. I only have the march speed left from the tech. Let me just go ahead and show it. And I only maxed the tech on the level 8 pass. To put it out there, on the level 7 pass, all I had was call to arms max. So I had the troops capacity max, but the improved morale was not max. And that's how I got the majority of my kills without having improved morale maxed. My improved morale was 7 out of 10, which is only 70% all damage. But on the level 8 pass, I just bought the bundle since I saw they were building out, and I just got it to 10 out of 10. It would definitely help me, considering all the fightings we had, to get even more kills if it would be max. But hey, it is what it is. Can't really go with the regular bundles, like, you know, get so many regular bundles, because the mountain warfare is 9 million crystals, and the other bundles is like 3.7 million crystal. I mean, the way it is now is going to be changed. The Conqueror's Wheels right now is 3.7 million crystal, and the mountain warfare is 9. So I would have had to go with 3 Conqueror's Wheel, which is obviously like 600, instead of a mountain warfare. So I had to wait for the mountain warfare. Right, yo, that's pretty much about this video. Let me know what you think in the comment section below again, and until next time, this is your boy Legendary Ronnie signing off. Peace out, yo, and take care. See you on the next one, and stay safe out there, my friends.